rebreu, wabubu anu debia. Fie mi amana manson sam Globe TV, yenim wapedi enyina. Yedi we see rebreu, baby I wish bia. Globe TV, bringing the world to you.
Globe TV, bringing the world to you.
A very good morning to you and welcome to Wake Up News Live on Globe TV with me, Sandra. Now let's take a look at the headlines. Coming up, the government has exempted all pension funds from the debt exchange program. We have for you, the organized labor has called off its intended strike that was scheduled for December 27, 2022. And also in the bulletin, Data Bank has asked its staff to work remotely after it closed down its offices on Thursday due to increased abuse and attacks. Valley View University Basic School holds its maiden speech and prize giving day. We take a look at how learning poverty is affecting the quality of education in basic schools across the country. Well, that's for the details of these stories and many more coming up to you on the Wake Up News, including sports.
Globe TV, bringing the world to you. Globe TV, bringing the world to you.
Well, let's now begin with the government has exempted all pension funds from the debt exchange program. This follows a crunch meeting with organized labor on Thursday. The Minister of Finance assured that pensions of all workers will be exempted from the program. The exemption is subject to the parties working together to explore mutually profitable options within the debt sustainable terms, microeconomic challenges and the debt exchange program. The statement said the bank is faced with staff attacks and threats, verbally and physically, hence the need for staff to start working remotely. However, part of the statement read, we are hopeful that once the debt exchange program has been concluded, we will be able to access the necessary funds to once again pay withdrawal requests. We are reliant on the government of Ghana to pay us so we can in turn pay clients. Now, Night of Kara and 9 lessons are held in Christmas celebration. They are at times celebrated to reflect the gift of Christ to the world. A moment of celebration as demonstrated by the Bono East Center for National Culture was held on Wednesday at the Bono Champion Hall. It was intriguing watching drama and choral and other performances. The event attracted several people from Christian denominations, academia and other corporate bodies. Speaking to Globe News after the event, the Bono Regional Chairman for the Center for National Culture, Dr. Berima Asumadu, said she implored the government to pay attention to art and culture. According to him, the Ghanaian culture symbolizes unity and hence can serve as a revenue basket for the country.
There are a lot of things that culture can offer this nation. You know, when you go to other countries like Japan, China, and then our own Qatar recently, it is culture that is spearheading the nation, that is promoting the nation. You understand? When you come to Ghana, it's unfortunate we are not paying the needed attention to culture. We have rather relegated culture to the background. It means that we have not seen the importance that culture, you know, can offer this country. When culture is positioned well, it will bring a lot of economic progress to the country, in that it will bring more foreigners to the country. They come to Ghana not because of our tourism, it is because of our culture. It is the uniqueness of our culture that propelled them to come. If it were left with these hotels, they have better ones over there. You understand? So I will suggest that government pay more attention to culture, in that to bring more foreigners to visit the country, and as they visit the country, it will earn us more foreign currency. It is unfortunately we are not paying the needed attention to its development. You understand? It's when you hold something in high esteem that you push in more effort, you push in more fund, you know, to develop it. You understand? It's unfortunate that the government of this country is not that. Even when you go to Nigeria, it is culture that is their second economic earning. You understand? So just as I have said, government to pay attention to culture. When attention is not paid to culture by the powers that be, we at the grassroots cannot do anything. You understand? So our advice that, just as I've said already, I'm emphasizing that more attention should be paid to culture, so that the culture can play its role. That will help the nation to develop and to bring more economic progress to the nation as well.
Now, the government has exempted all pension funds from the debt exchange program. This follows a crunch meeting with organized labor on Thursday. The Minister of Finance assured that pensions of all workers will be regulated from the program. The exemption is subject to the parties working together to explore mutually profitable options within the debt sustainable terms.
On December 13th, we signed this historic staff level agreement with the fund, which brought a sense of stability. Yesterday, as you know, until 4:30 a.m., Parliament passed appropriation and the budget, further bringing confidence as to where we are going. So, of course, the threat of a strike will not have inured to the spirit of the direction of where the nation is going. Obviously, the issue of exempting pension funds from it is at a cost, and we have committed government and labor, organized labor, to work together to ensure that we find means of plugging a hole that should ensure that we return to the 55% threshold. And I think that we are all committed to, because we know it's important to lead us to a board agreement so that we continue with the success that we have. But really, in the spirit of Christmas and the partnership that we have, we want to thank everybody who participated in this.
Now, after the signing of Memorandum of Understanding between the government and organized labor, a 7-member committee comprising 4 representatives from the government and 3 representatives from organized labor was formed to analyze technical solutions to bring the debt threshold back to sustainable limits. The committee is expected to submit a report on December 28th. Meanwhile, organized labor has therefore called off its intended strike that was scheduled for December 27, 2022.
We have reached a deal that we think is in the interest of this country. There is no way that such a thing should happen again. We have promised them that we will continue to work together as social partners so that our country will get back to the stability that will benefit all of us. And we also like to thank the press for being with us. The way you carried through this demand has contributed enormously to government's position that we are announcing now. So we thank you very much for that. And I would like to thank all members of all organized labor groups. Because, you see, when we get to this level, without the support, we will fail. But we are here today because our members supported us. And we thank you very much for that support. We are hoping that government will continue to create a space for us to continue the engagement, to bring down inflation and to stabilize the country. Because without that, this achievement will even come to naught. We have to do that all together. On this note, I would like to officially inform our members that the intended strike we announced on the 19th has been called off. We will monitor the situation, and if we have to come back to you, we will. I would like to repeat that on the 27th, nobody should stay at home. Please go back to work, because our demand has been met. And the condition we gave ourselves was that if our demand is met, we will organize this press conference, and inform you. And that is why we are organizing this press conference. I would like to repeat that on the 27th of December, we are all going back to work. Nobody should stay at home.
You're still watching the Wake Up News live on Globe TV, and we are also streaming live on Facebook at Globe TV GH. Coming up, we take a look at how learning poverty is affecting the quality of education in basic schools across the country. Well, do stay with us for more details.
Globe TV, bringing the world to you. Globe TV.
I'm back now. Valley View University Basic School in the Techima municipality of the Bono East region held its maiden speech and prize giving day on Tuesday, December 20th, under the theme of nurturing the future generation for a balanced and productive life. Addressing the ceremony, the Bono East Education Director, Mrs. Efua Amwa, called on stakeholders to offer mentorship to students as well as guide children in the usage of social media.
Job creators, the Valley View University Basic School has introduced career-based training program in the school to equip students with technical and vocational skills. Speaking at the graduation ceremony of the school, the Bono East Regional Director of Education, Mrs. Efua Amwa, urged academia to develop children with skills.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all desire a better future for the next generation, but that cannot happen until we make some individual and collective efforts to achieve this dream. Mentoring has proven to be one of the effective ways of supporting young people to grow their confidence and realize their innate potentials. Every adult here should be a mentor for a young person. If you were a debater in school and you are teaching now, you can create a debating club in your school to help your learners develop their confidence.
After 8 years of its existence, Valley View University Basic School can boast of high academic excellence with a total enrollment of 1,218 students. Addressing the event, the rector of the university, Professor E.B. Amponsa, said the university would continue to offer a supporting hand to the basic school.
Valley View University will continue to well support the basic school to ensure that the school experiences the needed progress to warrant a harmonious development of the physical, intellectual, social and spiritual faculties of pupils and staff in a well-designed and sound learning and research environment for meaningful service to God and humanity.
The headmistress of the school, Mrs. Mavis Owusu Daku, however, appealed to the government to support private schools in the country as they contribute to national development. She added the untarred and dusty road within the university is posing health implications to the students and hence need urgent attention.
The school has 2 completed apartments to house all levels of pupils in the school. The preschool is housed in a metallic zinc containers which is well ventilated. This is where the school started from. We have been able to add a 27-unit classroom to the existing structure we started the school with. All these structures were financed by the university and the internally generated funds from the school. Most of the challenges in the school are being managed, but the ones that need attention include the untarred road from the university entrance to the hospital. Then the drainage system in the school. It is a challenge to us that we are calling on all of us to help solve that.
Meanwhile, parents who were at the graduation ceremony to show support for their walls highlighted the need for parents to set education as top priority by investing in their walls education.
Education is a kind of field that whatever it is, if you are able to get it, you'll be able to fit into any society. And for that matter, I urge parents or guardians who have children of school-going age to do all it takes to provide the children the needed support, whether the educational needs like the books, whatever is needed. Parents should do well to provide those things.
Some students who spoke to Globe News said the school has trained them to be morally responsible in the society.
Valley View has helped me in a lot of things. It has helped me to gain a lot of knowledge and skills actually. Valley View is the best school
who has trained them to be morally responsible in the society.
Valley View has helped me in a lot of things. It has helped me to gain a lot of knowledge and skills actually. Valley View is the best school in Bono East as I speak right now. And skills actually. Valley View is the best school in Bono East as I speak right now.
Now, as the first item among the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals, it has become imperative for encyclopedic reforms to devise opportunities for all citizens to drastically diminish the level of inequality and the number of families who live in poverty. This is necessary as rising poverty is harmful to citizens of any country. My colleague Belinda Tete has filed this report on how some Ghanaians are infected with the virus of poverty.
Return to democracy, Ghana achieved significant economic growth and poverty reduction. However, in recent years, the rate of poverty reduction has slowed, becoming insignificant after 2012. In 2018, Ghana was among the 10 fastest growing economies in the world and is currently the second largest economy in West Africa. The country has made tremendous progress in reducing poverty in recent decades, but its success has been uneven and significant inequalities still exist, especially between the South and the North, where the majority of the population lives on less than $1 in a day. Around 24.2% of the national population lives below the poverty line. Ghana ranks 140 out of the 189 countries on the Human Development Index of the United Nations Development Programme. The real tragedy of Ghana, and indeed of many other countries in the region, is the fact that although it possesses the resources needed to end extreme poverty, it is failing to do so. Basic farming communities and their adjoining areas, where inequalities make abject poverty inescapable, lack basic amenities such as health center, potable water, toilet facility, conducive classroom block, and electricity, which are the most precious for human survival, yet very expensive to these residents. Even though politicians defy all odds in every election to canvass support with a promise to provide them with social amenities, but these promises have been kept on the shelves, attracting only cobwebs. According to the World Health Organization, waterborne diseases are the world's second leading cause of death. Ghana loses 20,000 lives every year due to consumption of unsafe water. According to UNICEF, 76% of households in Ghana consume water that's contaminated with fecal matter, as open defecation remains the norm in rural areas where there's no toilet facility. Many women miscarry, and some even lose their lives due to no health facilities in less developed communities. The maternal mortality ratio remains high and requires strenuous efforts if Ghana has to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal target of 70 per 100,000 live births in 2030. Education seems not to be an exception, as many schools are built under wooden structures with slanted supporting stakes to keep the structure alive. Overcrowded classrooms with limited desks, dusky classrooms, and dilapidated chalkboards with no tables for teachers. Poverty has many dimensions, but its causes include lack of education, low productivity of work, low income, social exclusion, and high vulnerability of certain populations to disaster and diseases. There's an established correlation between poverty and human rights. Poverty is more than just individuals lacking quality employment and material goods. It is also incorporates social and physical goods, which are characterized by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights as a right to cultural identity, right to equality, freedom to live with respect and dignity, as well as freedom from violence. The government is, however, entreated to do more to ensure that no one is denied universal human rights and basic economic opportunities. And any new development agenda should focus on ensuring inclusive economic growth.
Moving forward, we take a look at how learning poverty is affecting the quality of education in basic schools across the country. Access to quality education, lifelong learning is uneven, as children who can attend school often learn in overcrowded classrooms and in buildings with insufficient water and sanitation facilities and electricity, especially in rural communities. Globe TV's Bright Awusi brings to light the plight of Asuoti DA Basic School.
Our search for Asuoti, a completely cut-off village in the Nkranza North District in the Bono East region, takes off on a bumpy note from the regional capital, Techiman, seemingly a never-ending stretch of bad road flanked by overgrown weeds. Due to our alien in that area, we were intermittently led by the assembly member in the electoral area. After more than some hours, we finally arrived in Asuoti. On our arrival, we spotted some school children and about 5 teachers under a mango tree close to a very bushy area. Initially, I told the teachers we're taking them through some practicals in agriculture, but for curiosity's sake, the assembly member told the news team that it was the classroom for class 3 pupils. What you see over here is not an ordinary place, but this particular place serves as a classroom block for students in Asuoti DA school in the Nkranza North district of the Bono East region. You can see behind me over here quite a bushy area, leaving students and teachers vulnerable to reptiles, including snakes and other wild animals. Of course, the tree you see behind me, when I spoke to some residents, they told me that in the nursery they were supposed to be cut off for charcoal making, but because there is a deficit in infrastructure in this basic school, they've left it here for the students to attend their lessons and everything over here. With a population of about 865 people, Asuoti, a farming community, has no access to potable water, a health center, electricity, and a conducive classroom block, which has become a nightmare for students, teachers, and parents. However, most worrying for inhabitants is the absence of conducive classroom block. As we continue to follow the assembly member, we caught a glimpse of a ramshackle building which is almost at the verge of crumbling. But to our dismay, we were told it serves as a classroom block for kindergarten children through to basic 6 pupils, except for class 3 students who study under shading tree, leaving them vulnerable to reptiles and other dangerous animals. This particular structure serves as a classroom for those in kindergarten 1 to class 6, with the exception of class 3 pupils. So I'll be showing you how the classrooms are. So let me show you this particular room here. Still have the headmaster's office. This is the headmaster's office. This is where the headmaster sits and do all his work. You can see there are some metal trunk, and then some books over here as well. This is quite roof. Let me show you how the other classrooms are. Hi. How are you? Right. So this is class 5 of this particular basic school, Asuoti Basic School in the Nkranza North District of the Bono East region. Well, I can read over here. A network is a connection of computer to one another so that they can communicate and share data with one another. But it's sad to say that there is no even an electricity, let alone an ICT lab for these children to go through the practical aspects of the ICT. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Tell us, what are some of the challenges you face here?
Pacha, school dining here. Blackboard is on your konyehe school dining soon here. Any I ever know about Janet Ho. The Biasuni Hoba, Omachirade, Unibrawajaneda.
So, just as you heard from the young lady, what do you want to become in future?
Haura.
Then our person will be a dachi
teacher.
So you're teacher. So she wants to become a professional teacher, but will this situation help her dream come through? This is the question you need to ask. So I'll be engaging one more student. How are you doing? What to say? How ben now famu school me ya?
Pacha school danye. Yenia kwenyaso. Ya ba nyansuo no. E class musunye.
That's what person be
nursing.
You want to become a nurse. So this structure you see, you can see how the cracks on the wall, how life-threatening it is. And this particular structure serves as a classroom for these students here, from KG1 to class 6, with the exception of class 3 pupils. For over 3 decades of its establishment, with 196 total enrollment.
Well, it's now time for the sports update.
Globe TV, bringing the world to you.
And welcome to the sports segment of the Wake Up Show. My name is Robert KONYEH. Let's take a look at some headlines this morning. There was an EFL game between Manchester City and Liverpool yesterday, which ended 3-2 in favor of Manchester City. And after the game, coach Jurgen Klopp spoke about a goal which he clearly believes to be an offside. And also Pep Guardiola says this Liverpool defense is the toughest he's faced in his entire career. We also have for you Mikel Arteta stating how and when he decided to become a coach. And also Ghana have moved 3 places up in the latest FIFA rankings after the World Cup 2022. We also have for you the Black Galaxies are to camp in Egypt as part of preparations for the CHAN tournament in Algeria next month. Kotoko and Hasselhoff are set to receive 170,000 euros each for the participation of Afriye Bane and Danlad Ibrahim in the World Cup. And also Glasson Awako has extended his contract with Accra Hasselhoff until 2024. Now let's go for this quick break. We'll be back with the details of the stories.
Globe TV, yatisem ferama, ya muhiya ya sumbunti ya obabia. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina, ya diwi ya siribreu, wabubu wanudabia. Ifi yemi ya manamansun sam. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina, ya diwi ya siribreu, wabubu wanudabia.
Come back. Now let's begin from England. There was an EFL game between Man City and Liverpool, which ended 3-2 in favor of Manchester City.
Globe TV, bringing the world to you. Globe TV, yatisem ferama, ya muhiya ya sumbunti ya obabia. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina, ya diwi ya siribreu, wabubu wanudabia. Ifi yemi ya manamansun sam. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina, ya diwi ya siribreu, wabubu wanudabia. Ifi yemi ya manamansun sam. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina, ya diwi ya siribreu, baby ya wushabia. Globe TV, bringing the world to you. Globe TV, yatisem ferama, ya muhiya ya sumbunti ya obabia. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina, ya diwi ya siribreu, wabubu wanudabia. Ifi yemi ya manamansun sam. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina.
That was the game for you. Now after the game, coach Jurgen Klopp says he believes that Erling Haaland's goal was a clear offside.
We could start. First 15 minutes we had problems. City played much too often through our midfield. We all know City has always different ideas for different games, and you always have to get used to it during the game. You never know exactly what will happen. And obviously the positioning of De Bruyne and Gundogan in combination with Palmer and Mahrez gave us some problems on top of the problems you have Erling Haaland in the center, which you should not forget in all these movements. And so in this situation we were not compact enough. That's why they could pass the ball through. That costs you confidence, conviction, stuff like this. But we found a way back in the game. We were 1-0 down, scored our goal, wonderful goal. Had good football moments before the goal already. We caused them problems as well. So 1-1 result, okay, half time. Second half starts, and I don't know how many.
After Klopp spoke, Pep Guardiola also said that this Liverpool's defense is the toughest he has faced in his entire career.
We cannot say it was not a good game. I think Liverpool and City again respect what they have done in the last 2 years. The last games between each other was not successful for us, and we played the game we should play. It's not easy to keep the ball against them because they have a defensive structure, the most difficult I ever faced in my career. And I had the feeling in the game that they were really good in everything. I remember a little bit the games, the semi-final against Madrid here.
Now, Arsenal's coach Mikel Arteta, in an interview with Jimmy Carragher, has stated when and how he developed the interest of becoming a coach.
I was 26, 27, and I started to have that necessity to understand the game better. Obviously, as a player, my biggest vulnerability was that sometimes I was jumping into that pitch and I didn't exactly know what was going to happen. You know, it was too unpredictable, and I wanted to have the feeling that I could have more certainty going into the games. And I decided at 28 to start to do my coaching badges. I started to do when I was at Arsenal. Arsenal was very supportive with it. I started to really enjoy that process, and I took it step by step when I was...
So that's all for the foreign stories. Let's take a look at some local stories. Ghana have improved slightly in the latest FIFA rankings, which was released on Thursday. The Black Stars have risen 3 places in the world rankings from 58 to 61st. Their improvement can be attributed to their pre-World Cup wins over Switzerland and also beating South Korea during the Qatar 2022 tournament. The Black Stars, who are currently without a coach after Otuado's resignation after the World Cup campaign ended early, garnered 1,400 points. Meanwhile, the 4-time African champions have moved up to 11th in the African rankings. After Morocco's incredible run in Qatar, they have moved to 11th place in the world and are now the #1 in Africa, taking over from Senegal. Also, the Black Galaxies will leave for Cairo, Egypt on Saturday, December 24, 2022 to continue preparations ahead of the CHAN tournament. Ghana qualified for the African Nations Championship after edging Nigeria on penalties in the final round of qualifiers. Now, Accra Hearts of Oak and Asante Kotoko will receive 340,000 euros from FIFA following the participation of their players at the World Cup in Qatar. The Phobians had their striker Daniel Afriye Bani make the squad, while Kotoko goalkeeper Danlad Ibrahim replaced injured Jojo Walacott in the team. Each player will earn their club an amount of 170,000 euros after representing in the World Cup. And finally, Accra Hearts of Oak have confirmed that their midfielder Glasson Awako has signed a contract which will keep him in the club until 2024. Awako joined Hearts of Oak on a 2-year deal from Great Olympic and has since been rewarded with a new contract extension. Now that's all for sports. My name is Robert Konyeh. Do meet us at 9 a.m. for Sports Arena. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Globe TV, yatisem ferama, ya muhiya ya sumbunti ya obabia. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina, ya diwi ya siribreu, wabubu wanudabia. Ifi yemi ya manamansun sam. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina, ya diwi ya siribreu, wabubu wanudabia.
You're welcome back. Let's take a recap of the top stories. The government has exempted all pension funds from the debt exchange program. And also, organized labor has called off its intended strike that was scheduled for December 27, 2022. Data Bank has asked its staff to work remotely after it closed down its offices on Thursday due to increased abuse and attacks. And also, Valley View University Basic School holds its maiden speech and prize-giving day. We took a look at how learning poverty is affecting the quality of education in basic schools across the country. Well, that brings us to the end of the Wake Up News with you this morning. I am Sandra Edubwai, and it's now time for Yesina saying, do enjoy the rest of our program. We wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Globe TV, yet is Ferama, Yamuhia, Yasumbunti, your baby. Globe TV, Yenim Wapedi, Yadi, see Rebel, Wabu, and the Bia. If you any man, a man, some Globe TV.